Okay, we are now live and on the record for Thursday afternoons, October 7, 2021 docket. I'm going to call in bailiff, can you please get Faustino Garcia and bring him in, please? Mr. Jarvis, that is your client that I'll be starting with first.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, what about Gregorio Davila? I'll start with Mr. Mora then. Your client went to the men's room, Mr. Jarvis.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this Mr. Davila?
That's
Okay.
correct, Judge.
All right. Go ahead and unmute it. Okay. Okay, then let me call CR 1801268-I and CR 1801267-I and CR 2104199-I, the state of Texas versus Gregorio Davila Jr. Let the record reflect that Mr. Davila is in person and in the courtroom. Mr. Mora, before we get started on the CR 2104199-I, I don't have a notice of appearance of counsel on that, on file. Do you show that you filed one, sir?
I'd have to ask my staff, which number was that? Is that the second one?
That is his second DWI, sir, yes.
Okay, I know it. We'd instructed him. I'll follow up with that.
Okay, and only so that the clerk can show you as the attorney of record.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So then, Ms. Soto, I asked Mr. Davila to be here in person due to some violations that he had had in the past. Can you please give me his most current report?
Judge, he does have his mobile device was sober since the most current report. He had 2 missed tests and 4 late tests. I have already spoken to Mr. Davila. We've already adjusted his work schedule. He indicated to me he was having problems with the device. He was supposed to contact Mr. Cameron with sober sense regarding that. So that is his report at this time, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Davila, have you had an opportunity to contact the provider for your mobile device?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, and have you already visited with them?
Yes, I showed up twice, and when the third time, I notified him through phone, and he replied through me through text that they were having problems with the late test, and the system was down for 4 days.
Okay, has that problem been remedied?
It's happened, it's September, and it happened last week.
Judge, and if I may, I asked Mr. Davila when all this was happening to videotape while he's doing his session. He sent me those. He showed me a screenshot where he's at the office, and then the screenshots where it's not letting him get into his sessions on his phone, and then the conversation from SoberSense, which is saying that they're currently updating the server. So when that happens, and it's even telling them we're updating the server, you won't be able to you won't be able to log on until your last session is needed. Now with the missed test, Mr. Davila works out in the oil field. One of those sessions, Judge, he can give a schedule. He can tell you, I'm working 7 days on, 7 days off. He'll go on location and say they're supposed to get off at 5, 3 o'clock. There's no set, but maybe a 12-hour shift. And it happened on one of them where he was actually up for 36 hours straight, Judge. What happens is if they're in the hole, if they're doing the work, they can't just stop. The crew keeps going on. So he can't. And when everybody thinks, okay, well, when you get a break, the problem is if you've been up 24, 30 hours straight and you get a break, the first thing you're gonna do is just take a nap because you can't get to your vehicle or on location where your device is at. So that was, I know, was one of the problems. It was a 36-hour shift. So I think he missed 1 or 2 that were on there. But so I know the court wants them to give their work schedule, but it almost in the oil field doesn't work that way.
Okay, So what I'm gonna do, go ahead and mute him.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what I'm gonna do, Mr. Mora, is I'm gonna give him an opportunity to finish. I mean, I don't know if they've already finished doing that update. And since if they've already finished doing that update, then, and if his device needs to get calibrated, then go ahead and get that. He needs to get that calibrated. The fact that he's already talked to Ms. Soto and has worked on his schedule, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and accept that, and I'll approve any adjustments in time that he needs for those tests. And let's see how he does. But other than that, have you discussed disposition on these cases yet?
Judge, we had, and I've talked to him, like I said, the original DWI that he had, we'd asked for suppression. The day of suppression, we were ready to go forward. They offered PTD. We went through that, then it got denied after it was sitting in a holding pattern. Anyway, but in regards to that, Judge, we're still going to be asking for, and it's going to be an in-person suppression that we're going to be asking for. I did receive some of the dash cam and video camera that, and quite honestly, it's not anywhere near what the report says. So,
Okay, so then have you received the discovery on all three cases?
I have received the discovery on the first two. The second, I'll get with my staff because I know at one point we had requested discovery. I don't know if they got that out. Obviously, the court's telling me we didn't get a notice of appearance out, but I'm going to follow up with that.
Okay, and then, and what about digital evidence? Have you received all the digital evidence? I'm assuming with the exception of the second DWI, have you received the digital evidence that you need?
Actually, I did get that's what I don't understand because I did get that on the second one. I also got the dash cam on that.
Okay. So go ahead and file your motions to suppress, indicate on your order setting hearing that they will be in person. And we are hearing those, you'll probably get a January setting. Just so you know, and also Mr. Davila, so you know that it's taking a little bit of time for those suppression hearings. So we will probably take you up in January. However, and I'll go ahead and, do you know how much time you need to file your suppression, your motion to suppress?
I know that I'd have to, on the first one, Judge, probably it's just an order resetting because that's already been filed. It shouldn't take no longer than 2 weeks to get everything in.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and set a tickler for October the 20th to see that the motions to suppress and the order resetting hearing and the order setting hearing have already been submitted. And I'm gonna let, unless there's a violation between now and that time, then I'm just gonna go ahead and let his next court appearance, since he works out of town, be at that suppression hearing. However, if there's something serious, we will let you know and we'll bring Mr. Davila back.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Soto, do you have a current phone number for Mr. Davila then?
I do, Judge, yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Davila, just stay in close contact with your attorney and he'll notify you of your suppression hearing date. Okay, he's excused. Mr. Davila, you are excused. Okay, and do you know what numbers your Ms. Gonzalez and Mr. Salazar are on the court docket?
Let's see what I have them on here, Judge. I don't have, I've got number 30 for Miss Yadida Gonzalez.
I'm sorry, what number? 30 and 59. Okay, 30 and 59. Okay, so Mr. Mora, he has. Okay, so he had a previous court-appointed attorney. Have you now been retained on his 4 matters?
Judge, I know I had filed waivers for him on the first 2, and then we got the last 2 late, I guess, if you will. But yes, the question is, or the answer is yes.
Okay, and what 2 did you file waivers on? On which 2?
I thought we had a waiver on the original two, let me see. Because I had him calendared on my,
On the possession of marijuana and the possession of a controlled substance?
I believe so, Judge, yes.
Okay. So then, since those two have already been filed, you said?
I believe so, Judge.
All right. And so then he'll have the violation of the bond and protective order. But if it's okay with you, just out of an abundance of caution, I'll go ahead and just arraign him on all four.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so does Ms. Gonzalez, are you English speaking or Spanish speaking?
On those four, Judge, that's gonna be Jorge Salazar.
Correct.
Okay,
And I'm gonna do both of them right now.
I'm sorry, Judge.
It's okay. Ms. Gonzalez, can you please unmute yourself?
Now, ¿ya me escuchas? Ok.
Okay, so en español,
Esa es mi main language, pero sí entiendo inglés.
está bien. Entonces, tiene que esperar hasta que le traduzca, ¿ok?
Ok.
All right. And Mr. Salazar, are you English speaking or Spanish speaking, sir?
He's English.
Okay. Can you unmute for me, sir?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am. I just got the little box that said I could unmute. Can you hear me now, ma'am?
I certainly can. Okay, please raise your right hand, Ms. Castañeda.
Por favor, levante su mano derecha.
Ok.
Okay, do you each swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Salazar?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you may lower your hand, Ms. Castañeda.
Jura que el testimonio que está a punto de dar es la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad.
Sí, pues.
Okay, her answer was yes.
Yes.
Okay, she may lower her hand.
¿Puede bajar su mano?
Ok.
Okay, in cause number CR 21-05978-I, the state of Texas versus Yadira Gonzalez, is that your true and correct name, ma'am?
En el estado de Texas, en contra de Yadira González, ¿ese es su nombre correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
In CR 20-08587-I, CR 20-08586-I, CR 19-11612-I, and in CR 19-11229-I, the state of Texas versus Jorge Luis Salazar. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So Ms. Gonzalez, you are before the court charged with a driving while intoxicated with a blood alcohol level of greater than 0.15, a class A misdemeanor. Ms. Castañeda?
Ms. González, está usted frente a la corte con un cargo de daño criminal de manejar en estado de ebriedad con una concentración mayor de 0.15, que es un delito menor clase A.
And Mr. Salazar, you are before the court charged with a possession of marijuana of less than 2 ounces, a class B misdemeanor, a possession of a controlled substance, PG3, less than 28 grams, a class A misdemeanor, a violation of a bond or protective order, a class A misdemeanor, and a violation of bond and protective order, a class A misdemeanor. For those defendants with a class B misdemeanor, a class B misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. For those defendants with a class A misdemeanor, that carries a potential penalty of up to 1 year in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. Do you each understand the range of punishment that you can receive for the offense of which you are charged, Mr. Salazar?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Castañeda, please explain a class A misdemeanor range of punishment to Ms. Gonzalez.
Ms. González, una ofensa menor clase A tiene una multa potencial de hasta 1 año en la cárcel del condado de Hidalgo y una multa de hasta $4,000 por convicción. ¿Entiende usted el rango de castigo que puede recibir por el delito que está acusado?
Sí, entiendo.
Yes, I understand.
Okay, has any court ever declared any of you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane, Mr. Salazar?
Absolutely not, Your Honor.
And
Ms. González,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, Judge. Ms. González, ¿alguna corte la ha declarado a usted mentalmente incompetente, loca o demente?
No.
No.
Counselor, in speaking with your clients, do you find them to be mentally competent and able to assist you in their own defense?
I do, Judge.
At this time, the court will enter a plea of not guilty for Ms. Gonzalez on the offense of which she is charged, and a plea of not guilty for Mr. Salazar on each of the offenses that he is before the court today. The court will further make a finding that both Mr. Salazar and Ms. Gonzalez are competent defendants and are able to assist their attorney in their own defense. Okay, so how much time are you requesting, Mr. Mora and Ms. Gonzalez?
On Ms. Gonzalez, Judge, I'm gonna need probably 30 days.
Okay, so then her next status hearing will be on November I think it's the 18th, is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, November 18th at 9:30. Ms. Castañeda, please let Ms. Gonzalez know that her status date is for November 18th at 9:30.
Ms. González, su próxima corte es el día 18 de noviembre a las 9:30 de la mañana.
Okay, and let me
Okay.
hear from the state.
Your
Yes,
Honor, for CR-21-05978-I, because the defendant did have BAC over 0.15, and this was a single car accident, we asked the court to order an interlock device.
Okay, the court will order a mobile alcohol monitoring device that she must obtain within 48 business hours of receiving the signed order. Okay, please let her know that she'll be ordered to obtain a mobile alcohol monitoring device.
Ms. González, la corte le va a ordenar a agarrar un dispositivo de alcohol
And
Okay.
I need her phone number.
y necesito su número de teléfono.
956-624-8617.
Let her know that,
956-624-8617.
thank you, sorry. Let her know that someone from probation will contact her at their earliest convenience to discuss the vendors.
Okay, alguien del departamento de probation se va a comunicar con usted para decirle de los proveedores para el dispositivo.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, she's excused until the next setting.
Se puede retirar hasta su próxima corte.
Okay.
Okay, and how much time are you requesting on Mr. Salazar, Mr. Mora?
Judge, I'm gonna need about 60 days. Let me explain to the court. There is felony charges out of these transactions, but there's a divorce and protective order that we have done about half of the hearing out of the 430th. We've been trying to get that finished up with regards to that. So obviously, everything will start to kind of trickle down in what we need. But that protective order and divorce hearing may end up resolving a lot of these issues.
Okay, December 16th at 9:30 for status. If you need it sooner, if something has already been resolved, let us know.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, anything else, Mr. Mora?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Y'all have a good
Your
day.
Honor, before, can we make an announcement for the two of the cases on this, for Mr. Salazar?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, for both CR-19-116121-I and CR-19-112229-I. We have get in contact with the victim. The victim is Jennifer Salazar, the defendant's current wife. So we have been in contact with her, and we would like to ask for this court to order no harmful contact and stay away from victim, Your Honor.
Okay, that'll be so ordered, and I believe it's probably being taken up also in the protective order hearing as well.
That has been made clear and there's been no contact, Judge.
Okay, no problem. We'll see you on December 16th at 9:30.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Your Honor.
you're welcome. Mr. Jarvis, let's see if your client is out of the men's room.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, may I be excused?
Yes, sir, you may.
Thank you for your time today, Your Honor.
Thank you, likewise. Can you unmute that computer? All right, so let me go ahead and call CR 20-05765-I and CR 21-08149-I, the state of Texas versus Faustino Garcia III. And Mr. Garcia, I ordered you to be here present because of violations with respect to your alcohol monitoring device. At this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Soto from the probation department to give me the report, the most current report on that device. Ms. Soto?
Judge, he has his mobile device with a safety check. The date of activation was October 27th of 2021. Since then, he did have one late test, 4 missed tests, and some alcohol readings. On October the 1st at 6:01 a.m., he had an alcohol reading of a 0.048. Next test was taken at 7:06, which was a 0.0364. Then on October the 3rd at 7:51 p.m., he had another alcohol reading of a 0.040. And there was no retest done until the 10 o'clock test, which was still a 0.013.
So even up to the evening, he still had alcohol in his system?
On the third, judge, when he blew at 7:51, it was a 0.04. So when he blew at 10 o'clock again, he did pass, but there was still reading was still there.
Okay. Mr. Garcia, you need to understand that while you are out on bond, one of your conditions is that you cannot be drinking. So there cannot be any alcohol violations. You cannot miss any tests and you cannot skip any tests. Is this his first admonishment?
Yes, judge, it is.
Okay. Anytime that you do that, it is considered a violation of your bond conditions, at which time I can decide whether there's a consequence for you to pay or whether I'm just going to revoke your bond and have you incarcerated, sir. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't want to have these issues with you because when you're out on bond, then you become the responsibility of this court. And I have a responsibility to this community. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm not going to have you make me look bad or make the probation department look bad. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'm going to order you to be a part of the MAD impact panel. And you have 7 days to finish that. It is online and it's on 24/7. So you do it at your convenience, but you only have 7 days to complete it. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
What is your phone number, sir?
It's 956-225-6999.
Okay, Mr. Jarvis, how much time are you requesting on him?
Your Honor, I had spoken to Ms. Guarena. I don't know if she's still prosecuting out of your court. Is she?
No, sir, she's not. The ADAs in my court are now Eduardo Sosa and Carlos Ramirez.
Okay.
But Mr.
yeah.
Sosa or Mr. Ramirez, are you showing that Ms. Guarena left a recommendation or any notes?
For Mr. Faustino?
Yes, sir.
One moment. I see a regular probation recommendation for the DWI. 1 year. Well, I guess there's.
He has 2 cases. He had an assault, and then we were waiting for the DWI to come in, and that's when Gabby said that she would wait for it to come in to do maybe a package deal.
Okay.
But I haven't heard from her since.
So there's a regular probation recommendation for the DWI. Let me check. For the assault, there's no recommendation I see on file.
Has there been contact with the alleged victim?
And she did. I gave Ms. Guarena the number. It's his mother. And my understanding is that we were probably going to get that one dismissed. He pled to the DWI. And she's there in the courtroom with him.
I see there were attempts to contact her, but I don't think any of them were successful.
Okay. So I believe his mother is outside. Do you want us to bring her in or get a phone number for you? Or do you want testimony from her if she's going signing an A&P or what?
So I did get an email from Ms. Guarena asking for the updated phone number. I gave it to her, and then Ms. Guarena said, "Oh, thank you so much. I will get in touch with her." I guess it didn't happen, but if we can bring her in and just get testimony, that'd be great. It's up to your honor.
And as for the state, at this point, I'm not sure if we'll accept an AMP. However, I'll staff the case and we'll see what we can do, but an AMP will definitely help that cause.
What we'll do is then that we're gonna go ahead and I'll just get her phone number from her when my bailiff goes out and walks with him. He'll get a phone number from her, and then we'll turn that phone number over to Mr. Sosa. And so then they can contact her, and then we'll see what we can get done. So I'm gonna have him come back on November the 18th at 9:30. As long as he has no violations, he can do it via Zoom.
Very good, your honor.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
all right.
And then
Anything else?
Nothing from the defense, your honor.
Okay,
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
likewise. All right, then you're excused, Mr. Garcia. Okay. Let me go ahead and see. I'm gonna bring in the jail cases. Okay. Ms. Cedillo, you will be standing in for Ms. Cantú del Bosque and Raúl Cortina. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that is correct.
Okay, Deputy, can you please have Raúl Cortina step forward? Ms. Gutierrez, are you representing Rodolfo Garcia on both of his cases?
Your Honor, not at this time. I am appointed to represent him in the case that's number 72 CR 21-10807I. At the previous hearing, I filed a motion for a bond reduction, and we knew though that based on his mother's conversation with his mother, that the probation officer had indicated they would file a motion to revoke, so she was going to not get him out. And so we were going to wait on that. However, that has been filed, but I am not his attorney on that, so I don't know anything about that case and why they're revoking him, although I can guess.
Okay, so then Mr. Ortegon was appointed or retained?
I'm not sure if he represented him before, and his name is still on, but I want to say his name's been on since even before the motion to revoke was filed.
Okay, so he has been on since October of 2020, Mr. Ortegon. So do we know if Mr. Ortegon is going to stay on that case? Or
Your Honor, I think that's when he pled.
yeah, so we can actually, since he was on there at the time when it technically closed out, do you have any objection of us appointing you on this case?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll go ahead and get that out so that you can be appointed on this case, since technically that case already closed out with the plea. The motion to revoke would be a new issue. Okay, and Mr. Chapa, are you representing Mr. Juan Carlos Solis on all of his 3 cases, or just the one case that he's ready on a plea on?
It's just the one case that he's ready to plea on, Judge. That's number 79. Lauro Trejo represents him on a felony, and number 78 and 77. But I'm ready to move forward on the plea today. And it's part of the plea agreement, really.
Okay. And then Ms. Richardson, you are stepping in for Ms. Galvan for Mr. Carlos Vasquez?
I am, Judge, and that is a plea, in my understanding that it is signed up and ready.
Okay. And Mr. Ramirez, did you have an opportunity to review the paperwork?
Before I get to that, can I have note 77 for CR-21-08287-I? I don't see any paperwork received for that case.
I'm not talking about number 77.
Okay, for the other one,
I'm
Your
talking
Honor.
about number 80. You stated that the paperwork had been submitted today, but you had not had an opportunity to review it. Did you now review it to make sure that it is complete?
I reviewed it, Your Honor, so we're good to go on that one.
Okay. Mr. Solis is only pleading out to number 79 through Mr. Chapa. Number 77 and 78 are not going to be disposed of today. Is that my understanding, Mr. Chapa?
Judge, my understanding is that they'll be disposed of as part of the plea agreement with the felony, and I think that's set for October 18th, 17th, 18th, around that day.
That's
All right.
correct, Your Honor.
Okay. So then that'll be taken care of through that transaction. All right, so Mr. Cortina, are you English speaking or Spanish speaking? Mr. Cortina, are you English speaking or Spanish speaking?
English.
Okay, please stay right there. Deputy, can you bring Rodolfo Garcia forward?
Garcia.
Is he English speaking or Spanish speaking?
English.
Okay. And then Juan Carlos Solis, please.
Solis. English.
Okay. And Carlos Alberto Vasquez.
It's not on my list, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Richardson, do you know if Mr. Vasquez was released from jail? Because I have him as a jail case.
Judge, I apologize. I actually don't. Monica or Ms. Galvan asked me to step in
Okay,
around 1 o'clock, so I'm not sure.
okay, my staff did confirm that he has been released.
What was his name, Judge?
Carlos Alberto Vasquez. However, I do not have anybody by that name on my, oh, yes, I do.
Oh, he's logged on?
He's logged on.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and bring him in for you. Mr. Vasquez, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Can you please turn your camera on?
Yes, ma'am, I sure can.
Okay, sir, your attorney has had a family emergency and Miss Richardson is stepping in for her. Okay, so your plea paperwork has been accepted and we're ready to proceed today, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so, gentlemen, can I please have you all raise your right hand? Do you swear that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes,
Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. They've all indicated yes. All right, so on Mr. Cortina, Ms. Cedillo, what is the announcement that Ms. Cantu del Bosque has for today? Ms. Cedillo? Hold on, let me see if this is. Because she was coming in on the phone or. Let me see if that's her. Ms. Cedillo, is that you on the phone? Okay. And on Mr. Garcia, Ms. Gutierrez, what is the, today he has an arraignment, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, he has an arraignment on CR 21-10807I. However, I also filed a motion for a bond reduction, if I'm not mistaken. And so I'm not sure if the court would want to entertain a request for a bond, for the court to set a bond on the motion to revoke case that I was just appointed on.
Okay.
Or
yes, I'm gonna go ahead and I'll go ahead and do that, but let me go ahead and I'll go ahead and go through with the arraignment and then we will talk about the bond reduction and then we'll set the bond on the motion to revoke.
Very well, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So then please listen to me carefully, gentlemen. Now in CR 21-10807-I, the state of Texas versus Rodolfo Palomo Garcia III, is that your true and correct name, sir? Is that your true and correct name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In CR 20-03122-I, the state of Texas versus Juan Carlos Solis Jr., is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
In CR 21-02178-I, the state of Texas versus Carlos Alberto Vasquez, is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay. And Mr. Garcia, you are before the court charged today with resisting arrest, search, or transport, a Class A misdemeanor. I will explain a range of punishment for that shortly, sir. Mr. Solis, you are before the court charged with criminal mischief of greater than $100 but less than $750, a Class B misdemeanor. And Mr. Vasquez, you are before the court charged with possession of controlled substance, PG3, of less than 28 grams, a Class A misdemeanor. If you are charged with a Class B misdemeanor, a Class B misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. For a Class A misdemeanor, that carries up to a 1 year in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. Do you each understand the range of punishment that you can receive for the offense of which you are charged? Mr. Garcia, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Solis, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Vasquez, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Garcia, this applies to all of you. Has any court ever declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane? Mr. Garcia, yes or no?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Solis, yes or no?
No, ma'am.
And Mr. Vasquez, yes or no?
No.
And counselors, in speaking with your clients, do you find them to be mentally competent and able to assist you in their own defense? Ms. Gutierrez?
She's on mute.
Apologize. Yes, Your Honor, Mr. Garcia is competent.
Okay, and Mr. Chapa?
Mr. Solis is competent and able to assist me in his own defense, Judge.
And Ms. Richardson?
Your Honor, Mr. Vasquez is competent and he has assisted in his defense.
Okay, then at this time, the court will find that the defendants before the court are mentally competent and able to assist their attorneys in their own defense. The court will further enter a plea of not guilty on behalf of defendant Rodolfo Garcia on the offense of resisting arrest, search, or transport. And that was the arraignment for today. Before we move forward on the other two cases. Okay, so Ms. Gutierrez, did you file your motion for bond reduction on the resisting arrest, search, or transport?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And is the state have a recommendation on the reduction of the bond condition, I mean, on the bond amount, or any objection?
Judge,
Full counsel, oh, go ahead.
the state would just recommend a $2,500 cash surety bond.
Okay. And then on the, who is the alleged victim on the, oh no, well, he has a motion to revoke because of the other issue, okay. All right, I'm gonna lower the bond on the resisting search or arrest to a $1,500 cash surety. And on the revocation, I'm gonna set a bond in the amount of $2,500 cash surety.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, anything, Ms. Gutierrez, how much time are you requesting?
Well, Your Honor, on the new case, I don't have discovery on it yet. So if the court could give me anywhere between 20 and 30 days.
Okay, and on the resisting arrest, search, or transport, I see that a recommendation has been given at this time. Are you gonna wait to see what you can do later, or do you have that recommendation?
Your Honor, I'm not sure if I'm thinking about the right defendant. I apologize, but
Okay.
if I could at least have a couple of weeks to talk to my client, have him come into my office, and we can go over where he stands and what happened.
Okay, so if he's released, then that's certainly what you can do. So what I'll do is I'm gonna set both of these on November the 18th at 1:30. If you need them sooner, let me know, and I'm gonna keep them on the jail docket for right now, because I don't know if he'll be making bond.
Very well, Your Honor.
Okay, so he'll come back on November 18th at 1:30.
1:30. Thank you, Your Honor. I
Okay,
have nothing
so
further.
yes, you may be excused, and Mr. Garcia is excused, Deputy.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, and proceeding with Mr. Chapa's case and Ms. Richardson's case. Mr. Solis and Mr. Vasquez, you have the
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
you have a right to an attorney, sir. And you have a right to a trial by jury. You can waive one or both of those rights by signing a written document with the court. Did you have an opportunity to review that document before signing it, sir? Mr. Solis, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Vasquez, yes or no?
Yes.
And did you further understand that by signing that document, you were waiving your right to a trial by jury? Yes or no, Mr. Solis?
Yes, ma'am.
And yes or no, Mr. Vasquez?
Yes.
And so the court will accept your waiver of a trial by jury. Now, do each of you understand that if the punishment that I assess does not exceed what's recommended by the state, you will need this court's permission to file an appeal? Do you understand that, Mr. Solis?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Vasquez?
Yes.
Do you further understand that the court does not have to accept the state's recommendation, Mr. Solis?
Yes, ma'am.
and Mr. Vasquez.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Solis, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
And Mr. Vasquez, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Okay, then in CR 20-03122-I in the state of Texas versus Juan Carlos Solis Jr. to the offense of criminal mischief of greater than $100 but less than $750, a Class B misdemeanor, sir. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And in CR 21-02178-I, the state of Texas versus Carlos Alberto Vasquez to the offense of possession of controlled substance of PG3 of less than 28 grams, a Class A misdemeanor, sir. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And are each of you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily, Mr. Solis?
Excuse me?
Are you pleading guilty freely and
Yes, ma'am.
voluntarily?
Yes.
And Mr. Vasquez?
Yes.
Okay, then the court will accept your pleas as being freely and voluntarily given. I will call for state's evidence at this time.
Just one moment, Your Honor, if I may, for Carlos Alberto Vasquez, I know he has a substitute attorney, but I just wanted to clarify that he is waiving his right to appeal on the record.
I believe he did, Judge.
Because the
Yes,
check mark
I
was
mean-
missing on, the check mark was missing on that box.
He's on his behalf, he's waiving appeal on the record.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, you may proceed.
Your Honor, state offers plea documents and offense reports as State's Exhibit 1, notification and certification of defendant's right of appeal as State's Exhibit 2, waiver of Article 39.14 disclosures Exhibit 3, and waiver of risk and needs assessment as State's Exhibit 4. State would also request defense counsel stipulate to the venue and jurisdiction of this honorable court. And state would also request defense counsel stipulate to the fact that all evidence that has been filed is sufficient evidence to corroborate the plea of guilty.
Your Honor, just on behalf of Mr. Vasquez?
Yes, this is on Mr. Solis and Mr. Vasquez. Is there any objection, Mr. Chapa?
Oh, he's on mute.
No objection, so stipulated as Mr. Solis, Judge.
And Ms. Richardson?
Your Honor, we have no objection to the admission of the exhibits, and we agree and stipulate to Your Honor's venue and jurisdiction.
Okay, there being no objections from defense counsel, the exhibits are hereby admitted and approved. Therefore, in CR 20-03122-I, the state of Texas versus Juan Carlos Solis Jr., it is a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. And what is the state's recommendation?
Yes, Judge, I'm not sure why this is an open plea. I know open pleas typically are done when there's an ICE detainer. I don't see one on the defendant. However, the previous ADA sent the offers of open plea. The state respectfully recommends a $200 fine plus court costs plus 180 days at Hidalgo County Jail prorated over 1 year, plus a anger management class, 20 CSRs, and restitution of $181.65. And alternatively, if the court is so inclined, state respectfully recommends a $100 fine plus court costs plus 75 days at Hidalgo County Jail credit for 75 days with due and owing of $181.65.
Okay, Mr. Chapa?
Your Honor, that's correct. It was my understanding this would be an open to the court. I would ask the court to sentence him to 75 days in Hidalgo County Jail with credit for the 75 days. And given his time in jail and given the time that he's going to spend in jail pursuant to a plea agreement out of the 206 on the felony, Judge, I would ask the court to waive court costs, fines, and any other considerations the court would deem appropriate.
Okay. Then in light of what has been brought to the court's attention, the court will waive the fine and the court costs will sentence Mr. Solis to 75 days in Hidalgo County Jail and give him credit for 75 days and assess the restitution amount of $181.65 that are due and owing by the defendant.
Your
Okay,
Honor, just so I can put it on the record, Judge, this is plea agreement in the 206, wherein CR 21-08287I and CR 21-08288I will be dismissed.
okay. So for right now, on those two cases, until that occurs, they'll stay on my docket, obviously. And you said that that was gonna take place around the 18th of October?
That's correct, Judge.
Okay, so then what I can do is I'll have him come back on the 21st on 10/21 at 1:30. That's if it's even necessary.
Very well, Judge.
Okay?
I have nothing further. May I be excused?
Yes, and Mr. Solis is also excused.
Thank you,
Actually, Judge,
Yeah.
I lied. I have one other matter before the court, but if I can take it up after Ms. Richardson.
Sure.
Please,
Okay.
thank you.
And you didn't lie, you were just mistaken.
I-
NCR 21-02-178-I, the state of Texas versus Carlos Alberto Vasquez. It's a judgment of the court, sir, that you are guilty as charged. And what's the state's recommendation?
The state recommends a $100 fine plus 47 days Hidalgo County Jail, credit for 47 days in Hidalgo County Jail.
Okay, Ms. Richardson, any questions or requests on behalf of Mr. Vasquez?
Only that Your Honor approve the entirety of the plea is read into the record.
Okay, the court will follow the recommendation of the state. He'll have 90 days to pay the fines and any outstanding court costs. And
Well, Your Honor, if I may, for clarification, and it could be standard with the court, but the plea, as I understood it, was the 47 days time served plus $100 fine.
oh, I didn't hear court. Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
It's
Judge.
course of habit on the court cost.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure for Mr. Vasquez's benefit. that he
Okay.
understands.
So he'll have 90 days to pay the fine and he'll have, and I'll give him credit for the 47 days that he was in there.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay,
Thank you, Judge.
all right. Anything else?
Your Honor, that's all I have. May Mr. Vasquez and myself be excused?
Yes, sir. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Garza, I apologize on Mr. Rubalcaba. Deputy, we can bring Mr. Rubalcaba forward. Is that just going to be a status, Mr. Garza, for today?
Judge, and I've explained this to the ADA, Mr. Ramirez. We pled on the felony case on the 4th, an accompanying charge that, along with this charge out of the same transaction, was dismissed. That was a theft of property from the alleged same victim. It was dismissed, and on an affidavit of non-prosecution, we're asking for the same thing here.
Okay, and what's the state's response?
I'm sorry, Judge. What case are we on?
Number 76.
76. I was communicating with the wrong ADA, I guess.
No, they're both in this court, so.
All right.
For Rubalcaba?
Yes. Natasha Martinez was the prosecutor in that case.
Natasha hasn't been here in misdemeanor for about half a year. Forgive me, I don't know the case very well. I see that there's an 18-month probation recommendation. If you can just give me a second to see if there's any mention of acceptance of an A&P.
So the A&P of the same victim was taken on the felony case, Mr. Garza?
It was taken on a theft of property. It was turned out to be a felony,
Okay,
and he pled on a DWI revocation. So the theft of property and the terroristic threat were both, the victim was his mom.
Mhm.
And she filed an affidavit of non-prosecution. So they dismissed that one. So, but he pled true on the motion to revoke.
Okay, so then that A&P, you're asking for that to be considered for this case?
Yes, well, it was filed for both. So,
Okay, I don't think they're showing that they filed it in this one. I think if anything, it was just filed on the other one.
That's correct, Judge.
So that's the problem, is that when it was filed, it was only, for lack of a better statement, given credit on the other case and not on this one.
I don't know, Judge, but the intent of the alleged victim was to dismiss both cases.
Okay, so then do you have contact information on the alleged victim? Does Mr. Rubalcaba have a
Judge,
give you a phone number?
I have a 328-3282 number. I'm not sure if that's the most current number.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Rubalcaba is saying yes. He's shaking his head yes.
Okay.
So, what is he also being, what is he serving in there? What is he being held on other than this right now? Like, what's he
He
serving?
pled guilty, is sent for, he's gonna do time.
Okay, all right. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give the state an opportunity to contact Mr. Rubalcaba's mother just to verify that the intent of that A&P was also to include this case. And if they need to create a paper trail, it may require for her to come in and sign a secondary A&P. I mean, hopefully not.
Oh,
But, I'm gonna let me have them call him. It should not take that long, so. I'll bring Mr. Rubalcaba back on October the 21st at 1:30.
okay. 30.
All right. And then we'll go ahead and at that, between now and then, I'll expect that the state will have a response for me.
Very good, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, and Mr. Rubalcaba is also excused.
Thank you.
Okay, so Ms. Cedillo, I'm sorry I had called you earlier and we didn't know if you were having problems, but on Mr. Cortina, what was the announcement going to be on him?
Your Honor, my understanding in speaking to Ms. Del Bosque is that it was set for arraignment this afternoon, Judge. That's.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have him. Let me see. I think I had him set for a status. Let me see.
If the
Can
court-
you all verify?
Judge, and I think Ms. Del Bosque, she was stuck at the jail, but I think she's out. If I can just make a quick call, Judge, I can verify that.
Well, we're gonna check real quick.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Because he was on when I did all the admonishments and so were you, and I can just ask him real quick a couple of questions, but if it's on the arraignment, but I thought that he had already been arraigned.
Yes, ma'am. This is gonna be the first status after the KBS arrest.
Okay, so this is his first status after his arraignment hearing, Ms. Cedillo.
Your Honor, I don't have
A status?
Yes, Judge, I apologize.
Okay, so, I'm not sure then, he has pending felonies?
I don't know.
Oh, that's right.
Your Honor,
Okay.
I don't know if this is the
He
last
has-
one. Go ahead.
He has some pending felonies right now, so he's going to be held.
That would be our announcement, Judge, that she, I would imagine, is working towards resolving the felony and needs some additional time.
Okay, so are those felonies, Mr. Damian, do you have a setting on them or have they already been indicted? Oh. Okay, let me go ahead and have him come back on November the 18th at 1:30 and maybe Ms. Cantu del Bosque will know more at that time.
Yes, Your Honor. And she's
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you,
All
Judge.
right, okay, Mr. Cortina, you are excused. Deputy, did you have anybody else?
Yes, I have Martin Valderas.
Okay, his attorney has not shown up. Hold on. Let me double check. No, sir, they're still not, they still haven't shown up, so he'll have to be on standby. Okay, any other person other than Martin Valderas?
She's the last one.
He's the last one, okay. Well, as soon as they come on, I'll come out and get you.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Judge, may I briefly address the court?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Chapa.
I had a matter, it's a non-jail case, it's number 11 on the court's criminal docket. CR 20-06839I.
Okay.
Elizalde, Judge, in this case, she's set for arraignment today. However, I've tried reaching out to this defendant. I have not been able to get contact with her. I don't think she's gonna be signed on.
No, she's not. Let me see. Okay. Okay, well, I'll call her name at the end of the docket, and if she's not on, then we'll have to issue an ISI for her.
Very well, Judge.
Okay, is that all, Mr. Chapa?
That's all I have, and that's the truth this time. Judge.
Okay, you have a good day.
Likewise. Judge.
Okay, thank you. Okay. I don't see. A lot of people are not on. We need to have-
Yeah, he's on, Judge, right?
Yeah. Ms. Vasquez, do you know if your client is on?
No, Your Honor, we've made multiple efforts to reach her and have not been able to get a hold of her.
Okay, that's on CR 20-05178-I, Ofelia Cáceres. Okay, if she doesn't come on by the end of the docket, then we'll issue an ISI. Is that the only announcement you have?
It is, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you for your patience, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, have a good day.
You too.
Mr. Concha, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Concha, do you know if your client Jose Espinosa is on?
No, Your Honor, we've reached out to him, sent him letters, and he's not contacted our office.
Okay, then that's on CR 21-04542-I, State of Texas versus Jose Arturo Espinosa. If he doesn't come on by the end of the docket, then we'll have to issue an ISI. Do you have any other case?
No, Your Honor, that's all the case I have. May be excused.
You certainly may, sir. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Israel Galindo, is that you, sir, on the phone? Israel Galindo?
Yes, Your Honor. Hello? Yes, ma'am. This is me.
Okay, can you please stay on the line?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
No problem.
All right, stay with me, okay? Mr. Martinez.
Afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon, sir. Have you had any contact with your client, Jose Guadalupe Rocha Garcia?
Yes, I spoke to him. Sorry, Judge. That one was actually a waiver that was already accepted.
Oh, it was? Okay.
I'm double checking on my calendar right now. I know I had one that was already accepted and one that I needed to do in person because it was a violation of protective order. So Jose Guadalupe, it looks like we've been set for 11-4, Judge. The waiver was accepted.
Okay, and then Romeo Lozano?
He should be in your waiting room. If he's not, I can get in contact with him, but I spoke with him yesterday about today's proceedings.
Okay. I don't have anybody by that name. If you want to ask him, is he under something else? It's because since we have so many, I'm having to do it a little different today.
I get it. And you know what? Knowing him, I have a feeling that he's not going to be labeled properly. I think he was saying that it was going to be a brand new download on his phone. Judge, if I could,
Yeah, just see if he knows if he's on Zoom user or, you know what? I only have a couple of those. Let me just let them in. Just because I'm in a good mood. Okay.
that's him, Judge, Zoom user.
All right. Okay, so that's Romeo Lozano.
I'm pretty sure that's him, Judge. I'm pulling up his mugshot on my end.
Okay, Romeo Lozano, is that you? Okay,
Yeah, that's him.
unmute yourself.
Mr. Lozano, there's a button on your phone that's got a little microphone. You got to click it so you're able to unmute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, stay like that. Stay like that, okay?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Stay like that. Good afternoon.
I believe I'm in the wrong meeting, I guess.
Okay, who are you looking for?
My name is Eduardo Gonzalez. I've been on waiting for 2 hours now.
Okay, we started at 1:30, but who are you waiting? Are you waiting for court 9?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Who's your attorney?
I don't have an attorney.
Okay, what number is he? 2829. Okay. Yes, we have a very long docket this afternoon, sir, so we've been having to do it a little different. Okay.
No
So,
worries.
Mr. Gonzalez, your
Yes, ma'am.
attorney that was appointed to you was Nereida Morales Martinez,
Mm-hmm.
and currently she is not on. So I'm going to give you a new arraignment date so that she can have an opportunity to get your paperwork, okay?
Yes, ma'am, because as I believe they don't even have my phone number. So I was having a struggle to reach you out, but it's already fixed,
Okay.
kind of.
Let me call CR 21-04608-I, State of Texas versus Eduardo Gonzalez. Let the record reflect that Attorney Nereida Morales Martinez has been appointed to Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez, you are to return on October the 18th at 1:30.
Sounds good. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you. Oh, Mr. Gonzalez, do you have an email address?
Yes, ma'am. It's EDDI3RD23@gmail.com.
Okay, thank you, sir. You have a good day.
You too. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate your patience.
Bye-bye.
Okay, LG Stylo 6, who take off your cap and let me know who is your attorney, sir. Unmute yourself.
Sorry about that.
Okay, what's your name?
Zachary Vasquez.
Okay, Mr. Vasquez, and who do you have an attorney?
Dennis Rodriguez, I believe.
I have a Dennis Ramirez.
Yes, that's it. I'm sorry.
Okay, do we know what number he is on the court? Okay. Okay, Mr. Vasquez, apparently they've had some trouble getting a hold of you.
Yes.
We can't have that. If not, you have an outstanding warrant for your arrest right now.
Okay.
So be on, just stay on. Mr. Ramirez will be on shortly, okay?
All right.
Go ahead and stay on. You can mute yourself for now. Ms. Cedillo, will you be stepping in for Ms. Cantu del Bosque on the arraignment of Mr. Galindo?
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize for all the confusion. Ms. Del Bosque got caught at the jail and it was a last minute request, Judge. So it was my error when I stood in on the previous client, Judge.
Not to worry, ma'am. Okay, so Mr. Galindo is on and he is ready.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and then. All right, bear with me, okay? Let me see what else we've got. I can't wait until we're able to do these in person.
Well, I see you made it to a courtroom, Judge.
I have been playing musical courtrooms. Today I am in court 5. We were supposed to be in the 398, but judge had an in-person.
But nice to see you on the bench, Judge.
Thank you. Can't wait to be on my own bench. Okay. Mr. Eric Garza, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to go change into an appropriate shirt, sir. We do not allow muscle shirts in court.
My bad, man. My bad, my bad.
Ándale, now his mom's gonna get mad at him.
And for the record, Judge, I did ask him to dress appropriately.
Oh, there's only so much y'all can do.
Before we do my arraignment, I was in contact with Mr. Daniel Reyes. He's got number 50 on the docket. He asked me to step in. My understanding is it's going to be a nice eye. This is one that contact was unable to be made.
Okay, just remind me to call out, just make the announcement that you're stepping in for him on that, and then at the end, we'll go through all the ones that didn't show up anyway. So, Mr. Puente. Okay, Mr. Garza, for right now, I'm gonna mute you, okay? All right, Mr. Puente, Robert Puente.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Puente, were you able to get a hold of your client, Isabel Gonzalez?
Rodriguez, yes, I did.
Okay, do you know if she was gonna be on today? I do not have her on.
I spoke to her this afternoon and I gave her the Zoom information. I understand she was starting the job today.
All right, well, if you want to try to get a hold of her, sir, because she's not on, and I have all the unnamed people already on, so she's not on here.
Okay, Your Honor. If you give 1 second to try to reach her.
Mr. Flores, what number was yours, sir? Rick Flores,
67, Judge.
got it.
I'm sorry I had to switch over real quick, but I'm back.
It's okay.
That didn't sound right, did it?
Okay.
And for purposes of discussion, Judge, my client did not have a phone to put Zoom on, so he's present right behind me to my right.
this point, I can probably do them all. Okay, let me make sure that we have on this. Okay, from Mr. Zambrano's office, who is the defendant that you are here on?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here on Ramon Alejandro Guajardo,
Okay, what number is that?
number 31 on the court's docket, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, so I have Mr. Gonzalez on that case. Have you all been retained?
Yes, and I've advised Mr. Gonzalez, he's not opposed.
Okay, so then let me call on CR 21-07773-I. So is Mr. Ramon Guajardo present?
He should be, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay, make sure you keep your camera on, Mr. Guajardo. Okay, so on that, Mr. Gonzalez, there's no objection to the substitution?
Zero.
Okay, so just make sure that you have your, did you all file a motion to substitute?
We're gonna enter our appearance and submit the discovery motions at the same time, Your Honor.
Okay, so just so you know, in order for the clerk's office to change the name of the attorney, they are requiring that the motion for substitution be filed, an order
Okay.
granting be filed with it. Once I sign the order granting, then you can file your notice of appearance. Don't ask me why. That's just what I've been told. And that's
Okay,
the only way that they're gonna take you off. So I'm just following instructions.
okay, we'll do that, Your Honor.
All right. I mean, I would think it's redundant, but I don't know.
Right, and I'm entering appearance now, yeah.
No.
I get it.
But I don't have any say so in that. All right. Sure. Okay, so we have Israel Galindo here. Mr. Reina, is your client Mark Anthony Garces present?
Yes.
Mark
No, I'm sorry.
Anthony-
No, he's not present.
Okay, that's CR 21-08630-I. Did you attempt to make contact with him, sir?
I did, Your Honor. He's apparently he's homeless and he didn't give any forwarding address on his bond.
Okay, unfortunately, if he doesn't show up by the end of the docket, I'll have to issue a NISI for him, sir.
I understand, Judge.
Okay, do you have any further business?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then you're excused, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Okay, Roberto Garza.
Good afternoon, Judge John Rigney for Roberto Garza.
Yes, sir. I think your client was having issues in connecting his audio. He's still trying to connect his audio, Mr. Rigney. I
Okay,
don't know if you want to try to contact him, but I do see him on. He just hasn't been able to connect.
he told me he was in the waiting room, so if he's there, is there not a way to tell him just to push the mute button?
No, sir. When they haven't connected to audio, they can't hear me.
Oh, I see. Let me text him then.
Yeah, he might be, receive a text.
Let me, yeah, he will. Let me tell him, was it push?
Now,
Was it?
Is
audio button?
he English speaking or Spanish speaking?
I think he does both.
Okay.
I sent him a text message. And I apologize, Judge. I just got a hold of him because I didn't have any phone numbers for him. So I had to go through the the bondsman, and I finally got a phone number and reached him just, 20 minutes ago. So I wasn't able to get him to do the waivers of arraignment. If Your Honor wishes to reset, I can get a hold of him and do waivers.
He's not going to be able to hear me. So if you want to submit a waiver of arraignment for Because he can't hear. He's saying, he's going like this, that he can't hear me.
Yeah, I sent them a text to push the audio button, but I guess, but
That's
I'll
fine.
I'll just get him in to do waivers and then I'll file them, Judge.
Okay, so I'm gonna resend him for October 18th at 1:30. If you file it before then and it's accepted, don't worry about it.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good afternoon.
Yes, likewise.
Bye-bye.
Can you okay. Ms. De Ochoa, is your client Laura Martinez here? Let me see Sonia. Attorney Sonia De Ochoa. Okay, is Laura Andrea Martinez present? Ms. Morales Martinez, were you able to get a hold of your client, Angelo Brito?
No, Judge, I was not able to do so. I sought out the help of Indigent Defense for a phone number, but they indicated to me that I had to, they couldn't help me, that I had to do it through the court, and I just had not been able to reach the court on that.
Okay, so that's CR 20-32884-I. So Ms. Morales Martinez, are you requesting an opportunity to contact him?
Yes, ma'am, I would. And I guess I'll be contacting the court to see what information, if you all have anything that you can assist me with. It's
Okay.
Indigent Defense will do it.
His new arraignment date is December 2nd at 1:30.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you were also appointed on a case for Eduardo Garza. He did show up, but I went ahead and released him and gave him a date of, I'm sorry, Eduardo Gonzalez, if you want to
Yes.
take down the CR number, 21-04608-I. He was reset for October the 18th at 1:30. His email address is EDDI, the number 3, RD23 @gmail.com.
Gmail. Okay, EDDI3RD23 @gmail.com.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge, on, let me see. On 10/18, Judge, I'm scheduled to start a trial.
Well, he's a non-DWI, so if you get a waiver of arraignment on file, you'll be fine.
Fantastic. I will do that, Judge. I will take care of that.
Just make sure that you use the court's waiver of arraignment.
Yes, ma'am. I will ask for that so that I can have it.
Okay,
I have nothing further, Judge. May I be excused?
you certainly may.
Thank you.
Okay, Guillermo Peña, are you present? Okay, I do see you, sir.
Judge Sergio Munoz here on behalf of Mr. Peña, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
I know that he's logged in, Judge. We're set for an arraignment on a resisting arrest. And I know there's a felony also that's still pending in intake, Judge.
Okay, we're gonna get started. Do we have Robert Mesa here? Okay, Yuri Rocio? Okay, nice. All right. Is Ramiro Rodriguez here? Mr. Puente, were you able to contact your client Ramiro Rodriguez?
Not him, Your Honor. I did contact my other client, number 29. She's supposed to be logged in.
Okay, I still don't have anybody logged in. So Ramiro Rodriguez. And okay, Isabel Gonzalez. I don't have Isabel Gonzalez on. Nor Ramiro Rodriguez.
Okay, yeah.
I'm right here.
Okay. Isabel, you need pay attention or else an ISI is going to be issued.
Okay.
Mr. Martinez, Mauricio Martinez, do you also have your client Daniel Torres on?
Judge, let me double check on that one. I believe that one was another one that was also a waiver that was accepted. I'm pulling up my docket.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. That was another waiver, waiver arraignment accepted, reset to 11-4.
Perfect. Thank you. We have Dominic. Okay, Lorianne Lopez. Can you hear me, Lorianne Lopez?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Is there anybody that I missed? As far as, Mr. Cantu, I understand that you have a deposition right now, so if you want to submit your waiver, go ahead.
Yes, Your Honor. I just wasn't sure if you were accepting waivers on an assault case, but if you are, we can certainly file one.
Yes, just on, yes, I am, just not on DWIs without proof of an alcohol monitoring device.
All right, Your Honor, and
Just make sure that you use the one for that's been approved by the court.
yes, Your Honor. And since it's here with me right now, can you give us a date?
Yes, well, yes, we put it on the order, Mr. Cantu.
Oh, okay.
So just submit the waiver and it'll be on the order.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
You're on.
Yes.
I'm on
I'm not
number 52 of the docket, Your Honor. I don't believe my client was called.
Okay. Nancy Ramirez?
Yes, Your Honor. I filed a waiver of arraignment yesterday, and I submitted the order of arraignment this earlier today. And I also filed a motion for substitution of counsel signed by the court-appointed counsel, Laura Martinez Barbosa.
Okay. And did you file your order granting?
Yes, Your Honor. I filed an order with it.
Okay. Let me check on it. That's CR 211953-I. Okay, the waiver of arraignment was rejected. I think did you use the one for the one that's approved by the court?
I don't know, Your Honor. I filed
Okay, so if you'll go on our website, the waiver of arraignment that's approved is there, but if you'd like, we can have it emailed to you.
yes, Your Honor, preferably.
And I'll give you an opportunity to have her sign off on that.
Yes, and the only issue is that my client has COVID, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll give you a
so-
setting out, don't worry. So we'll email you the waiver of arraignment, have her sign it as soon as it's safe to do so. And then your order granting, I'll look for that and have that forwarded to my queue, but you will also have to file a notice of appearance once that order granting has been signed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so.
Am I getting a new setting?
Yes, it'll be on your waiver when it's returned to you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I have nothing further. May I be excused?
You certainly may. Okay, I heard
Ju-
another, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge Dennis Ramirez for number 73. Not sure if you called it.
Oh, Zach?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, yes, he checked in. We have you.
Okay.
I got you. Don't
Thank
worry.
you, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, anybody else that I happen to miss, with the exception of the people that are in person? Mr. Puente, you have Isabel here, but you don't have your other guy here.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, so then I need for you to listen very carefully, because once we start, it's gonna go a little bit fast, okay? So it's very important that you listen up. First, I want to thank you for your patience. Today is our arraignment day this afternoon, so we have a longer docket than normal. So I appreciate the attorneys taking the time and staying on, and also the defendants, because having an arrest warrant is never fun, okay? So I appreciate you all staying on and giving me your time, and I promise I'm going to give you my time. So as I call your name, I need for you to pay attention, because I'm going to ask you to keep your microphone off of mute, which means that you need to be in a setting that is quiet, okay? So that we can hear you. Don't all answer at the same time. I will ask for individual responses because I need a clean and clear record. So I'm gonna call you out. And so make sure that you're unmuted. So I need for you to raise your right hand and make sure you're unmuted. Mr. Peña, you're on mute. Unmute yourself. Okay, Mr. Flores, do you want to unmute? There you go. Okay. Make sure, unmute yourself. Okay, Mr. Galindo, can you hear me? You need to be off of mute. Okay, you're off mute. All right, here we go. Raise your right hand.
Excuse me,
swear-
Judge, I'm so sorry, but I do not see Eric Garza on the screen. I don't know if he got kicked out or something happened with the internet, Judge.
I have him on my list of participants.
He was there earlier, but I just don't see him.
He's on.
Okay,
Mr.
all right,
Garza,
Judge. I'm so
Eric
sorry.
Garza, I need you to unmute Eric.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Robin, yours is a recall of a nice size, so just be on standby, okay? All right. Okay, raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Israel Galindo, yes or no?
Yes.
Miss Isabel Gonzalez, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Ramon Guajardo, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Romeo Lozano, yes or no? Mr. Guillermo Peña, yes or no? Guillermo Peña, yes or no? Mr. Peña, are you still on mute?
Yes.
Okay. Zachary Vasquez, yes or no?
Yes.
Dominic Zuniga, yes or no?
Yes. No dice.
Lorianne Lopez, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. And that should be all. Lower your hand. In CR 21-04-793-I for the state of Texas versus Israel Lee Galindo. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are before the court charged with theft of property of greater than $750 and less than $2,500, a Class A misdemeanor. I will explain that range of punishment to you shortly. In CR 1803868-I, the state of Texas versus Isabel Gonzalez. Is that your true and correct name, ma'am?
Yes.
You're being charged with assault causing bodily injury, a Class A misdemeanor. I will explain the range of punishment shortly. CR 21-07773-I, the state of Texas versus Ramon Alejandro Guajardo. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes.
You are being charged with racing on a highway, a Class B misdemeanor. I will explain the range of punishment to you shortly. On CR 20-12085-I, on CR 20-10207-I, On CR 20-10208-I and CR 21-08842-I, the state of Texas versus Romeo Lozano. Is that your true and correct name, sir? Mr. Lozano, is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
If I
And
may
you-
interrupt, I
Yes.
apologize. On number 42, the Odyssey has it indicated as Romeo Nun Lozano. I think whoever inputted that understood that when they asked him if he has a middle name and he said none, they actually wrote None. I think the state needs to just make a quick oral motion to modify the complaint and then just file that motion.
No objection to that, Your Honor. We'll get that changed.
It's just a clerical issue, but I know for purposes down the line, it's important that we do it now.
Why do I feel like that may be something in the blunders of the trial bar and the Texas Bar Journal, right?
When we actually called him, Judge, we asked him if his name was Noni for the record.
That's what I thought. I thought it was Nune. And then,
Yeah.
okay, anyway. Well, for the record, your true and correct name is Romeo Lozano. Is that correct?
The second. Yes.
You're Romeo Lozano the second?
Ma'am.
Well, we might as well fix it. Well, we can on all of them. All right, sir, you're being charged with violation of bond protective order, a class A misdemeanor, a secondary charge of violation of bond or protective order, a class A misdemeanor, a possession of marijuana of less than 2 ounces, a class B misdemeanor, and for unlawful carrying a weapon, a class A misdemeanor, sir. And I will explain the range of punishment shortly. On CR 20-06244-I, the state of Texas versus Guillermo Adan Peña, is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes.
You're being charged with resisting arrest, search, or transport, a class A misdemeanor. I will explain the range of punishment shortly, sir. On CR 20-09347-I, the state of Texas versus Zachary Vasquez, is that your true and correct name, sir?
Yes.
And you're being charged with assault causing bodily injury and family member, a class A misdemeanor. Mr. Ramirez, at this time, are you requesting that Mr. Vasquez's NICI be recalled?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. The court will grant that request. CR 21-05312-I, the state of Texas versus Dominic Zuniga. Is that your true and correct name, sir? Mr. Zuniga, you're being charged with unlawful carrying a weapon, a class A misdemeanor. I will explain the range of punishment shortly. On CR 21-11483-I and CR 21-05571-I, the state of Texas versus Lorianne Lopez. Ms. Lopez, is that your true and correct name, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
You're being charged with possession of marijuana of less than 2 ounces, a class B misdemeanor, and driving while intoxicated, a class B misdemeanor. I will go over the range of punishment shortly. Is there any defendant that is present that has not been admonished at this time before I move forward?
Me.
Mr. Garza, thank you. Okay, what number is he, Ms. Belinda Garcia?
He's number 21, Your Honor.
Thank you. Way to speak up, Eric. Good job. Okay, CR 21-07837-I, State of Texas versus Eric Efrain Garza. Is that your true and correct name, sir?
No.
What is your true and correct name?
Eric Efrain Garza.
Is that E-F-R-A-I-N?
No, Your Honor, it's E-F-R-E-N, Efren.
E-F-R-E-N. Okay.
That's correct, Judge.
What says the state?
We'll go ahead and get that modified, Your Honor.
Objection, Judge.
All right. So, Mr. Garza, you're being charged with resisting arrest, search, or transport, a class A misdemeanor, which I will explain that range of punishment shortly, sir. Okay? If you are a defendant before the court with a class B misdemeanor offense, a class B misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in the Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. For those defendants with a class A misdemeanor, a class A misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 1 year in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. This is called the range of punishment. At this time, I'm going to ask you if you understood the range of punishment for the offense of which you are charged. Okay, Mr. Israel Lee Galindo, yes or no, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Eric Garza, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Isabel Gonzalez, yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ramon Guajardo, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Romeo Lozano, yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Guillermo Peña, yes or no?
Yes.
Zachary Vasquez, yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Dominic Zuniga, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Lorianne Lopez, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, do you further understand?
405 West.
Do you further? Almost started with the plea admonishments. It's been one of those days. Okay. So has any court ever declared you to be mentally competent, crazy, or insane? Yes or no, Israel Galindo?
No.
Eric Garza, yes or no?
No.
Okay, Isabel Gonzalez, yes or no?
No.
Ramon Guajardo?
No.
Romeo Lozano?
No, Your Honor.
Guillermo Peña?
No.
Zachary Vasquez?
No.
Dominic Zuniga? Dominic Zuniga?
No, ma'am.
And Lorianne Lopez?
No, ma'am.
Then counselors, in speaking with your clients, do you find them to be mentally competent and able to assist you in their own defense? Ms. Cedillo, yes or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Dalinda Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Robert Puente? Mr. Robert Puente?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And for Mr. Zambrano's office, I apologize, I didn't write your name down.
This is Attorney Andres Lopez, Your Honor. Mr. Ramon Alejandro Guajardo is competent.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Mauricio Martinez?
Yes, as to Mr. Romeo Lozano.
And Mr. Peña? I'm sorry, Mr. Munoz, as to Mr. Peña?
Yes.
This is competent, John.
Okay. Mr. Ramirez, Dennis Ramirez?
Yes, that's Mr. Vasquez, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Flores, Rick Flores?
Mr. Zuniga's competent, able to assist, Judge.
Okay, and Mr. Richard Gonzalez?
Same announcement for Ms. Lopez.
Okay. Then the court will make a finding that all the defendants before the court today are mentally competent and able to assist their attorneys in their own defense. The court will further enter a plea of not guilty for each defendant and for each offense of which they are being charged. Okay, so what that means is today I've entered a plea of not guilty for all of you, okay? Unless there's somebody that wants to plead guilty right now, raise your hand. I don't think that's gonna happen, so. All right. Okay, so then, Ms. Cedillo, how much time is Ms. Cantu del Bosque requesting for Mr. Galindo?
Your Honor, I would ask for 30 days, Judge.
All right, November 18th at 9:30 for a status.
Yes, Your Honor. May we be excused, Judge?
You certainly may. Mr. Galindo, you are excused.
Thank you, ma'am. You have a nice day.
Likewise, Ms. Garcia, how much time for Mr. Garza?
Judge, we're waiting on the discovery. I have asked for it twice. So once I get the discovery, I'll be in a better position to figure out what we're going to do, Judge. So if I can get the discovery within 2 weeks, but I don't have the discovery.
If you would, Ms. Garcia, can you go ahead and email me with the CR number? I'll be sure to get it to you as soon as possible.
I'll email you directly.
Yes, it's just Carlos.Ramirez and the rest of the stuff for
Yes.
DAs.
Okay, so then that should be given to you no later than tomorrow. So, then the 18th, would that be enough time?
The 18th of October?
No, ma'am, November.
Oh, November, okay. Yes, that would be perfect.
Okay, November 18th at 9:30. Mr. Garza, we'll see you at November 18th at 9:30.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
You certainly may.
Have a good day.
Likewise. Okay, Mr. Puente, for Ms. Gonzalez, how much time are you requesting? Mr. Puente,
Yes, Your Honor.
how much time are you requesting for Ms. Gonzalez?
A short reset, Your Honor. We'll find out whether we're going to go to trial or not, or if she can be a PTD candidate.
Okay, does the state show if Ms. Gonzalez is PTD eligible?
Is that number 29 on the docket?
Number 29 on the court's docket.
I see on my notes that I have a PT app submitted on 6/8/2018. Does the attorney know if that was rejected?
Yeah.
Does Mr. Puente know if that was
Mr.
rejected? I'm
Puente.
not checking my notes.
Yeah, I think, looking at my notes, I think she did apply for a bust down on a DWI. So I don't know if that counts as a PTD. So if it does, then we just need a couple of weeks to find out, Your Honor.
Okay, well, this is on an assault matter, so I don't think, does she have another misdemeanor case in my court?
No, Your Honor, just the assault.
Okay. Let me have her come back then on November the 2nd at 9:30. We'll see you
Thank you.
here November 2nd at 9:30, Ms. Gonzalez.
Okay, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I have
Oh,
excuse?
wait. Okay, Mr. Damien is letting me know that she has a pending felony. Is the state showing that at intake?
I see, well, it says dispose on mine for a DWI CR-3400-17-J.
You're seeing it as disposed?
I mean, I'm going deeper into the case and see what, how this matter's been handled. Mr. Honor, I believe this has been disposed of.
Okay, so this is the only pending case she has.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, November 2nd at 9:30. All right, Mr. Lopez, how much time are you asking on Mr. Guajardo?
Going to be requesting pretrial diversion, Your Honor. So we still need to do that motion. The substitute, Your Honor, requested. So I think November 18th would work.
All right, does the state show if Mr. Guajardo is eligible?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'll give you November 18th at 9:30. Between now and then, the packet needs to be turned in so that it can be under review because it's taking up to 90 days right now.
Okay, yes,
90
Your
days.
Honor.
Okay,
I'll have everything submitted by then, Your Honor.
all right, November 18th at 9:30, Mr. Guajardo.
Thank you, Your Honor. May me and our client be excused?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Martinez, how much time on Mr. Lozano?
Judge, he's got a total of 4 cases. I'd be requesting 45 days. I think I've got about half of the evidence so far.
Okay. Around that time period, December 14th, would that work?
That works fine, Judge. We'll be here.
December 14th at 9:30.
Yes,
And Your
ma'am.
Honor, if I may, can, for CR-20-12085-I, this is a violation of protective order. We respectfully ask for a no harmful contact.
That's fine, Judge. We don't have any contact with the victim at this point. We don't have any issues with that.
That'll be granted. All right, we'll see you then, Mr. Lozano. Okay,
Good, thank
Mr.
you.
Munoz on Mr. Peña.
Just about
Oh.
45 days, just because there's still a felony, Your Honor, that's still in intake.
Okay, we'll do December the 16th at 9:30. Okay, and I believe, Mr. Martinez, you're standing in on CR 20-02-338-I, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Number 50 on your docket.
Okay, And the last announcement, attorney had not been able to get a hold of the defendant. Is that still the case?
That's still the case. He indicated that she hasn't reached out to him and he hasn't had any contact with her at all.
Okay, sir, we'll wait till the end of the docket, and if not, then we'll have to issue a nice one.
Yes, ma'am. Does the court want me to stick around?
No, sir, not necessary.
Appreciate it again. Thank y'all.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
What was the date? Sorry. For Peña?
December 16th at 9:30.
December 30. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, Mr. Ramirez, how much time for Mr. Vasquez?
Your Honor, the November 18th date would be more than enough time.
Okay, November 18th at 9:30.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
You certainly may, thank you. Okay, Mr. Flores, how much time for Mr. Zuniga?
Judge, we have an outstanding felony that has not been indicted yet, so whatever the court would consider.
Okay, the last date I have for the year will be on December 16th, and let's see if you have any notice by then on the
That would-
felony.
that would
December
be perfect.
16th at 9:30.
Thank you, Judge. That concludes my business. May we be excused?
You certainly may.
Have a good day and be safe, Judge.
Likewise. Okay, Mr. Gonzalez? Ms. Lopez?
Judge, I've already received a plea recommendation. I spoke with Ms. Lopez about it today. We're going to be accepting that. So I would just ask her maybe just 2 weeks to get everything signed up and ready to go.
Okay, the state have any announcement?
We would just like to ask, does she already have an interlock device or a mobile device?
I don't know.
No, sir.
Your Honor, the state would ask that one be ordered to refuse the breath test.
It was going to be ordered as a part of the plea deal anyway, Judge.
Okay, so it'll be a mobile alcohol monitoring device. So she'll have 48 business hours to obtain it from the time that she has the order.
So I have 48 hours to get that.
Yeah, 48 business hours, which means that if they're open on Saturday, then you have to get it by Saturday.
And it's for the mobile, you said, right?
Yes.
Like for a
But I
car?
always, but Ms. Lopez, I always say when you get the order, because they're not gonna give it to you unless you have the order. So once you're gonna get the order, you're gonna have 48 hours to get it, okay? And
Okay.
it's a mobile, it's a handheld device. And you're
A
gonna have,
portable.
yes, it'll be portable. But if you can please give me your phone number so that the probation department can contact you and speak to you about it.
Yes, ma'am. It's 956-405-5250.
Okay. Okay, then, do you need, what about, you said around 2 weeks, like October the 21st?
21st. Yeah,
Is
that's
that
fine,
enough
Judge.
time?
Yes.
Okay, October 21st at 1:30.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Trevino, which one
Yes,
are
Your
you
Honor.
here on?
I have number 65 and 66, Your Honor. Ana Zarate. I was retained, Your Honor, and I filed my notice of appearance as well as the 3914 discovery, the Morton discovery. 65 and 66 arraignment.
Okay, but is Ms. Zarate present?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Okay, hold on. And then Mr. Bravo, who are you here on?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I believe it's number 53 and 54. Optimal release.
Okay, and are they present?
No, Your Honor, we've been on the, I did make contact with a family member. I don't know if I believe he may be at work, Judge. I did contact the bondsman. I believe notices were mailed out.
Okay, well, he has until the end of the docket. If not, a nice I will be issued. Because he received notice of today's hearing.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And any other case?
I believe that's it, Judge. The other cases we had, I believe the waivers already been spent.
Okay. Okay, sir, in the cap, you need to take your cap off. What is your name again? You're on mute.
Sorry, Zachary Vasquez.
Oh, okay, Mr. Vasquez, you already finished.
Can I be excused?
Yeah, did you get the date?
November 18th, right?
Yes, yes, you're excused.
Do I show up for court?
It'll be via Zoom.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, so Ms. De Ochoa, I had called you earlier, but I think you were.
I was in
probably
County
tied up.
Court 4. Sorry, Your Honor. County Court 4 started at 3, but it's
Okay.
number 44.
Okay, Laura Martinez, and I don't believe she's checked in with us.
And she hasn't checked in with me either, Your Honor. I don't have a phone, but I know that it was mailed out to her, the notice.
Okay, so then we'll go ahead and give her till the end of the docket. If not, it'll be a nice side.
Okay, Your Honor. Do you want me to stay until the end of the docket?
No, not
Okay.
necessary.
Okay, Your Honor. Thank you so much. May I be excused?
You certainly may.
Have a good day.
Likewise. Okay, Mr. Trevino, I apologize. Since it didn't
We're saying-
indicate that there. Okay, so Ms. Zarate, can you please raise your right hand?
Yes,
Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can lower your hand. All right, and in CR 20-00729-I and CR 20-00730-I, the state of Texas versus Ana Alicia Zarate, is that your true and correct name?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, PG3, less than 28 grams, a Class A misdemeanor, and a possession of marijuana of less than 2 ounces, a Class B misdemeanor. A Class A misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 1 year in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $4,000 fine upon conviction. A Class B misdemeanor carries a potential penalty of up to 6 months in Hidalgo County Jail and up to a $2,000 fine upon conviction. Do you understand the range of punishment that you can receive for the offenses of which you are charged?
Yes, ma'am.
Has any court ever declared you to be mentally incompetent, crazy, or insane, ma'am?
No.
All right, counselor, in speaking with your client, do you find her to be mentally competent and able to assist you in their own defense?
Ms. Zarate is competent, Your Honor.
The court will make a finding that Ms. Zarate is competent and enter a plea of not guilty on each of the offenses of which she is charged. Okay, and how much time are you requesting?
Your Honor, if you can give me 30 days, it's fine, Judge, for status or reset, and we can come back and negotiate with our, Mr. Ramirez on it, Your Honor.
Okay, so then you said you already filed your discovery motions?
Yes, Your Honor, we did today.
Okay, so then you should be receiving discovery shortly. And
Thank you, Your
then,
Honor.
okay, so we can have her come back on November the 18th at 9:30.
Very well, Your Honor. This is all I have, ma'am.
Okay,
May I be excused, Your Honor?
yes, you both are excused.
Thank you.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe.
Okay, Miss Elise. What was her case number? Got it, okay. All right, take off your sunglasses, ma'am.
Yeah.
And then mute yourself.
Yes.
All right, you're on CR 20-05358-I. I had called your case earlier this morning and you had not attended. Therefore, a warrant for your arrest was issued. At this time, are you requesting for that warrant to be recalled, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. Okay, what date did we give Ms. Richardson for that? Oh, okay, because she wasn't sure if she was gonna be able to reach Ms. Zamora. Okay. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get with your attorney and give her the new date. And it'll be, let me see. What is her offense? I don't have it. Okay, criminal trespass misdemeanor, Class B. All right, I'm gonna give your attorney some time to get the discovery on this if she needs to and discuss it with you, and then you're gonna come back on November the 18th at 9:30.
Okay.
So make sure that you come back on that day. If not, I'm not gonna recall any more warrants, okay?
Understood.
November 18th at 9:30. Does your attorney have a correct phone number for you? You're on mute. Okay, does your attorney have a correct phone number for you?
Yes, she does.
Okay, all right, then we'll let her know November 18th at 9:30, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you have a good day.
You too.
Okay, Mr. Contreras, you have your client here in person, sir. Are you ready? Mr. Contreras?
Your Honor, good afternoon. Yes, I'm ready. Are you
Okay.
ready to fall in love?
Karaoke on YouTube Live.
I know
Okay.
we're live. I know we're live. Sometimes it's just a long day, Judge. Sometimes we have to have fun. Not too much fun.
I agree. I know what you mean. All right, let me go ahead and bring
Yes,
in
ma'am.
your client. Mr. Damian, can you please bring in Jonathan Lee Garza?
Your Honor, for the record, Jesse Contreras for Jonathan Garcia, Your Honor. You want to bring me that, his file, Mr. Garcia's file? I know that the court had concerns on some violations, Your Honor, on Mr. Garza. And that's the reason why there was an in-person request from the court.
All right, Mr. Garza, you can be, they're gonna show you to the computer. Okay, let me call CR 20-07257-I, CR 21-1359-I, CR 21-08641-I, and CR 21-08642-I. State of Texas versus Jonathan Lee Garza. Okay, so Ms. Soto, can I please have an updated report on Mr. Garza, please?
We need to have.
Yes, Judge, at the last court hearing, your order for a drug patch should be obtained upon his release. So I received the results of the first drug patch and he was positive for methamphetamines, Judge. The results for the second drug patch have not come in yet. And he does have a third drug patch on at this time, Judge.
But Your Honor, if I can respond to that, we knew he was going to be positive, Your Honor, given the fact that he's got a felony pending and the possession, allegations of such possession is regarding that drug that he came out positive, Your Honor. I would ask the court to again, knowing that he was going to come positive, Your Honor, if we can hold off on any type of arrest until perhaps another 30 days and see where he's at once, you know, he flushes this toxins out of his body, Your Honor.
Okay, so the third drug patch is scheduled to come off when, Ms. Soto?
Should be the 14th of October, Judge.
And then it takes 7 to 10 days to get the results, right?
That is correct, Judge. And also he does have an assessment scheduled on October the 13th at 8:15 a.m. with the probation department. He was also screened for the inpatient facility, Judge, but that was denied due to the assault offense that he does have.
Okay. Mr. Garza, I'm not gonna, I mean, you have the third drug patch on right now. So is there any reason for the court to worry?
No, ma'am. I've been sober. I've been clean. Because I also have a CPS case too, so I gotta stay on the right track.
Is a CPS case, Judge. Okay, Ms. Flores, did you hear what he said?
He said
Judge, I heard what he said.
Okay. All right. What we're gonna do then is we're gonna come back on November the 2nd. I'm gonna set it for 9:30 unless the third drug patch comes back dirty. Then we're gonna set him for in person.
Your Honor, is it possible, I know that we have a hearing on the felony case on December the 6th at 11 a.m. in the morning. Is it possible to perhaps around that time as well, we set up this misdemeanors as well, Your Honor, if possible?
I'm gonna be setting it up so that I can get the results.
Got you, no problem, Judge.
So I need to have it on the 2nd.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's November 2nd?
Yes, at 9:30. And for right now, I'm gonna stop it at this third drug patch unless he comes out dirty.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And that'll be at 9:30 unless and he can appear via Zoom unless there is a violation, then he'll have to appear in person.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
That's all I have, Your Honor. May I
All
be
right.
excused?
yes, you and your client are both excused.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. Oh, good evening, that is.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Deputy, I apologize for keeping you waiting, but nobody has shown up from Ms. Canales' office or Mr. Alvarez's office. So, that's on Mario Valderas, is that correct? Martin Valderas, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am. He's coming.
Okay.
He's a Spanish speaker.
Okay, so let me just check to see if he has any felonies pending. Okay, does the state show if there's any felonies pending or my staff?
What number is he on the docket, Your Honor?
Number 68 and 69?
Let me look him up.
Okay, is he only being held on these two? Okay, it's showing that these are his only arrests. Does he have an ICE hold? What does the state show?
I'm going through his records right now, Your Honor. I'm not seeing any hold, Your Honor. That could be wrong.
Okay, so he's only being held on these two cases. He doesn't have any holds. I understand that he's homeless.
Okay, for this case, we did reach out to the victim. The victim is fearful of the defendant, so she's hesitant to let him out. And we want to have him on probation, but the state is concerned that since he is homeless, we don't know where we would report to, and we don't know if we can monitor him while he's on probation.
Well, we have to figure something out because it's not Sheriff Guerra's responsibility to provide housing to people that don't have housing. So,
Understood, Your Honor.
we need to see what, but I'm gonna bring him back very shortly. What's as soon as we can bring him back? Okay, October 21st at 1:30. Ms. Castañeda, please let him know that he's gonna return on October 21st at 1:30.
Mr. Valderas, su próxima corte es el día 21 de octubre a las 1:30 de la tarde.
Bien.
Fine.
Okay, then we'll see him then. Okay. Thank you, Deputy.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right. Did Mr. Sosa log off?
He had a pressing matter, Your Honor, so he had to step out, and I told him I'll be able to handle it.
Okay, so then let's go over the docket. Okay, is there anything on number 4 that came in, a late waiver, or anybody call in on that? Okay. And what about number 5 and number 6? Waivers? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Tony.
Number 4 was reset for 11-4 with an accepted waiver of agreement.
Okay, and 5 and 6 had waivers?
Yes, ma'am, on file.
Okay, number 8 is a nice sign. Number 13 is a nice sign. Number 11 is a nice sign. Number 19 is a nice sign. Okay, anything on number 34?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
Nothing filed for 34.
okay, that'll be a nice sign. Number 35?
Number 35 has a waiver on file.
36?
Number 36, there was a waiver filed, but it was rejected.
Okay, they probably thought it was accepted. Let them know that it was rejected.
Yes, ma'am.
Number 37?
There's a waiver on file.
Okay, 43?
That was actually dismissed on Tuesday, Judge.
Okay, 44 is a nice sign. 48?
Nothing filed, Judge.
Okay, that'll be a nice sign. 51? Okay. Okay, that'll be a nice sign. 53 and 54, same defendant, nice sign. 55, nice sign. 56, nice sign. Anything on 61?
I believe waiver was filed. Familiar.
Okay, so on 61, waiver was filed?
Double check, Judge. Yes, ma'am. Reset to 12/7.
Okay, 63?
Nothing filed, Judge.
Okay, that'll be a nice sign. 81?
Nothing filed, Judge.
Do you show Ms. Soto for number 81 if he has an alcohol monitoring device?
He does, Judge. He has no violations, and I believe that one was reset for 10/21 at 1:30, Judge.
Okay. Yes, it's to bring percentage. And 0 violations, okay. Okay, what about number 82 through 84?
Those were reset for 12/7.
Okay. Um, 85? Oh, that's right. Okay, on CR 21-00922-I, State of Texas versus Christian Gonzalez. It's number 85 on the court's docket. Are you all showing that it's 0?
Yes, we try to find a victim, but no victim was found, so it's, the state said, states to go ahead and set it at 0.
Okay. And 86 and 87 were reset, right?
No, Judge, they should have been. I don't know if they said.
Ms. Castaneda, do we know on 86 and 87 if they were notified to be here in person?
Not in person, Your Honor, but I didn't get any response from Mr. Jackson's office.
Okay. A link was sent out to them? Okay, so they had notice of today's hearing, correct?
Yes.
Okay, nice eye. Okay, that's all I have. Mr. Damian, do you want to call out all those names 3 times?
Yes, ma'am. Ofelia Cázares, Ofelia Cázares, Ofelia Cázares. Yesenia Natalie Elizalde, Yesenia Elizalde, Yesenia Elizalde. José Arturo Espinosa, José Espinosa, José Espinosa. Mark Anthony Garces, Mark Garces, Mark Garces. Was number 34 one, Victoria Aisha Hernandez. I have her marked but not circled.
What's the number?
Number 34?
I have it.
Okay. Victoria Aisha Hernandez. Victoria Hernandez. Victoria Hernandez. Victor Martin Pacheco. Victor Pacheco. Victor Pacheco. Joaquín Emilio Pimentel. Joaquín Pimentel. Joaquín Pimentel. Cuauhtemoc Rodríguez. Cuauhtemoc Rodríguez. Cuauhtemoc Rodríguez. Ramiro Isaí Rodríguez. Ramiro Rodríguez. Ramiro Rodríguez. Fernando Marcial Rosales. Fernando Rosales. Fernando Rosales. Saúl Alejandro Torres. Saúl Torres. Saúl Torres. Marco Antonio Mendiola. Marco Mendiola. Marco Mendiola. That's all I have.
Your Honor, the state requests that a judgment nisi be granted, a KP is issued, and all bonds forfeited for these no-show defendants.
Laura Andrea Martinez. Laure Martinez. Laure Martinez.
Okay, Mr. Ramirez, just for clarification of the record, go ahead and put on the record again. What does the state say of these no-show defendants?
Your Honor, state requests that a judgment nisi be granted, a KP is issued, and all bonds forfeited for these no-show defendants.
That'll be so granted. Okay, that concludes this afternoon's docket. We are now off.